For the year 2020, I'm making a video review for every new movie I watch, whether in theaters or at home, and on April 29th, I watched The Nice Guys. Welcome to my year in movies. This is Talking to Myself. The Nice Guys follows Private Eye Holland March and Enforcer Jackson Healy as they investigate the disappearance of a young girl. Along the way, they find themselves unraveling the scandal that implicates an automobile manufacturer, a pornography producer, and the United States Department of Justice. It's a wild ride, my dudes. What a ride. A drunk detective who's also a single father to a responsible daughter and a man built like a refrigerator punching stuff. This movie is looking to check off every square of my bingo card. So this movie is co-written and directed by Shane Black. Shane Black is known for the Lethal Weapon movies and for directing Iron Man 3. And no one does action comedy better than him. And I don't just mean witty dialogue. I honestly think witty dialogue does not necessarily make it a true action comedy. I think the comedy should also come through in the action, and they do a good job of letting the action convey that comedy. And Holland March, Ryan Gosling's character, is actually a really good example of how that works. Nearly every time he goes for action, it gets derailed. It goes hilariously wrong. He'll hide behind a car for cover, but that car is on a rotating platform. So about the time he's ready to jump up and shoot, he's facing the wrong way. He'll try to toss a gun to his partner, but he misses horribly. He'll try to jump over the hood of a car and just fall flat on his face. It's pretty great. And the dialogue is funny, sure, but it goes deeper than just one-liners too. They point that out, they lampshade a lot of things, and it's a lot of fun in that regard. Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe won me over because I usually do not care about their characters in movies. I have had no interest in watching like The Notebook. What else is Ryan Gosling in? And Russell Crowe never really appeals to me. He always seems just kind of a jerk, but that may just be the fact that the only film I've really seen him in is the 2012 Les Mis. But no, they're so good in this movie. Did it help that they're getting the snot beat out of them half the time? Maybe. But you know what? They also had a really fun rapport. They had a really tight dynamic. They were so good. Ryan Gosling's character was such a dumbass, but I loved every goofy minute of his character. He captures self-loathing without it being surly or bitter. He's just tired, and he does such a good job of that. He's so funny. Let the hot boys be funny. Every single one of them. They just want to be in comedies. Let them do it. And Russell Crowe's character is amiable, but all business, a beautiful combination. Also, sidebar, Fat Russell Crowe is best Russell Crowe, yes, and like that holds true for other actors too. Like Christian Bale in American Hustle is infinitely more appealing to me than Christian Bale in Batman. I don't make the rules, and I'm not taking questions. But also, Bo Knapp, Keith David, and Matt Bomer were absolutely fantastic villains. They're very fun. They're having fun. I hope Bo Knapp gets to be in more movies because he's so goofy. And he wasn't in the movie very long. He's almost like a combination of Simon Helberg and Jason Schwartzman. It kind of has that energy to his character, but it's so much fun. Needed to be both in the movie more and just in more movies in general. Keith David is a delight every single time. I love him in Princess and the Frog, and so getting to see him like actually have fun and interact with actors was really cool. And Matt Bomer is like a little baby John Hamm, just it's so cute. I liked him. He's just kind of creepy and just very cold and calculated, and I dig that. So really the only complaint I can have is despite the fact that Holland and his daughter Holly have that precocious child and irresponsible adult dynamic that I absolutely love, it's another square on my bingo card. The way Angeries, her name is spelled like this. I'm gonna go with Angery. The way Angery Rice's character is written was kind of hit or miss for me. There were some lines of dialogue that just felt really awkward, and it may have just been the direction that she was given. It's hard. It's so hard. It's so hard to pull off child characters, and it's difficult being a child actress. She honestly did a good job, but just some of her lines were kind of weird. And I think they could have been cut because they didn't fit with the rest of the movie. I think they were necessary lines, but where they were thrown in just didn't work for me. That being said, the fact that she was 13 years old and the only one responsible enough to drive between her and her father, perfect. Loved that. I was reading through the Wikipedia and I came across the soundtrack for the movie. That also slaps. They put some absolute bangers on this album. Like, of course they have some songs that are like, oh, of course it's set in 77, they're gonna have those songs. But those are songs that every time I hear them, they're still absolutely fantastic. Like Boogie Wonderland, I do still really like Boogie Wonderland. September, I do still really like September. And A Horse with No Name, I don't care if it's stupid. I love that song. I love things steeped in their decade where they will just embrace everything, and thank goodness it embraced the music because this was so much fun. Really great soundtrack. I haven't watched a lot of neo-noir set in LA, but do they all involve porn producers? Because, like, The Big Lebowski in this movie, that makes it 2 for 2. Is it just an LA thing? I don't know. I can't say too much more about it because I don't want to spoil it. I had so much fun watching this movie. It's so easy to get just sucked into it and enjoy it. They do such a good job with the pacing, with the locations, with the comedy. This is another good example where they balance the physical comedy with the dialogue really well, and every instance of physical comedy is just beautiful. I will say this. If you watch No Other Scene, look up the scene where Jackson Healy comes to Holland March's house to try and get information out of him and ends up breaking his wrist. It's shown in, I believe, the Red Band trailer, and maybe in the regular trailer too. Watch that. It's so good. It's just so goofy. I don't know. I had so much fun watching this movie. And this is a tremendous example of a film where I do genuinely want a sequel. I genuinely want to see these characters interacting. They crafted such a brilliant dynamic, and of course they left the door open for a sequel, but this is an instance where the one time I want a sequel that's not guaranteed. You know, I'm guaranteed Marvel sequels for forever, but I'm not guaranteed this. I mean, there are 5 Lethal Weapon movies. 6 Lethal Weapon movies? I don't know how many Lethal Weapon movies there are, but there's so many Lethal Weapon movies. I want a bunch of Nice Guy movies. They could do whatever they want in them. I just want to see those characters interact again and just get progressively more chaotic. I think that would be great. That being said, I don't know if they're going to let Shane Black do anything anymore after the Predator movie. They're not going to let him do anything after the Predator movie after he let an actual Predator be in the movie. But of course that's not true because they've let actual Predators direct things and they keep getting to direct things. So, you know. I really do want a sequel to The Nice Guys. I had so much fun watching this movie. I highly recommend it. You will have an absolute blast watching this movie because it is the epitome of a movie where you can just sit back and let it, just let it play. Just sit back, let it play, have fun with it. Easily one of my new favorite films. Perfect. So much fun. And there are no ideal watching conditions because any watching conditions is good. It's a good airplane movie. It's a good end of the week movie. It's a good watch it as a study break movie. It's a good all the time movie. But maybe don't give it to 6-year-olds. This has been My Year in Movies. Thank you for watching.